before we are live. We were inside the Shy Bar. A lot of good things happened today for the Green Bay Packers. One is Aaron Jones ran the ball like a madman. Now, he did pull up on that pass in which he goes into the end zone, the touchdown pass into the end zone, and he ended up pulling the back of his leg, kind of grabbing onto it. Devontae Wyatt a little bit nicked up today, so you got quite a few guys that ended up going down. But all in all, not a bad performance. Aaron Jones, 9 carries, 41 yards, 5 carries, 24 yards. That was the first drive of the game. They didn't go back to him until that first drive of the second half. I thought they would have gone to him a lot more. I mean, there's a lot of things to question in this Packers victory. But that was one of them. It's like, why did you get away from Aaron Jones when it was working early on in this contest? That's first and foremost. Then secondly, on top of that, they kept going to A.J. Dillon, 9 carries, 41 yards today. His longest one was a 9-yard gallop to set up a second and short situation. Then you had Patrick Taylor got carries, 5 carries, 22 yards, 4.4 yards a carry today. So in that sense, that was solid. Jordan Love, he scrambled around a little bit, but the athleticism that everybody thought was going to kind of become prevalent really wasn't. And it's no shock because it's not as if he was that much more athletic, that much faster than even Aaron Rodgers. But nevertheless, the Packers get the job done, and they get the first win of the season. They are now tied atop the division with the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions, for the first time, they have a waiting list, believe it or not. The first time they have a waiting list to find or for season ticket holders to try to get in. So how about that? You got all kinds of people over on the live stream still saying, kind of seeing it up and down offense, and that's understandable. But overall, it was a good start. But why in the hell does Matt LaFleur keep, when he's carving up a defense, keep getting away from what gets you there? I agree with you. I don't know why in the first half of the first drive of the ball game, you have got Aaron Jones running extremely well. And all of a sudden, he doesn't see the football again until the first drive of the second half. Explain it to me. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why they did that. I know it's a little bit defunct today. For those that are watching on the live stream and paying attention over there, because we have a couple of technical things inside the Shy Bar, and they don't have certain people on staff and such. So it's okay, though. We're over the air. We're good. And hopefully you're listening to the radio stations all throughout the great state of Wisconsin, and you're listening to the postgame show, and good from there. But again, a good day, not a bad day for Jordan Love. He ended up with a 15 of 27, 245 yards, 3 touchdowns on the day. Did not put the ball in harm's way. The only pass that he had, and Mike Clemens and I were talking about this, it was a third down play in the first half, and it was an out pattern to Jaden Reed. And it was there because we were sitting up top. You could see it. It was there. And he waited to. This was when we talk about getting into a rhythm and getting the synapse. So that way, between your brain and your arm, and it tells you to throw, you get rid of the football that much quicker. And that was the only thing, is that he didn't get rid of the ball quick enough. Scott in Fort Worth is listening to us. Good stuff there, Scott, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody taking a listen to us today. Good stuff. Also, Love looked really good, I think. This is coming from John. I said 42-21. I was pretty close. That's from Michael. Michael, congratulations to you, man. And then Andrew said, obviously, the injuries are starting to become a little bit concerning. Obviously. Fred, can they get rid of A.J. Dillon? Not after that. I mean, what are you going to package him up with? They just got to figure it out for him. Also, Brett says, nice way to get the season started. I was sitting right behind Brian Gutekunst and the Brain Trust, I guess the best way to put it, at Soldier Field today. And they were fired up. They were fist bumping on every score. They were, when things were how do I put this? When things were a little bit tense, there was a lot of heavy sighs of relief. Anders Carlson, when he split the upright today, and from 52 yards out, there was a lot of fist bumping there as well. Because I mean, I will say this though, for Anders Carlson, for the guy that was supposed to be able to kick it so much higher and so much higher and so much farther, excuse me, so much higher and so much farther than what Mason Crosby did. The first couple of kickoffs, he didn't even have a touchback. He didn't have a touchback. So not great by any stretch of the imagination, but still the 52-yarder, that was big. That was big, no doubt. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Find us. Give us a shout. We would love to hear from you and start taking your calls, your reaction, and such to the Green Bay Packers getting a win. And we are broadcasting live at the Sheraton Hotel. We are in the Shy Bar. That's where you can find us. And if you're a Packers fan, you're listening to us right now on the app. If you're listening on TuneIn, if you're watching on TuneIn, I know the camera's angle is a little bit different, but that's okay. But you can get a hold of us in many different facets. Many different facets. This one's from Michael, says, awesome win for Wisconsin. I will say this, though. Not a great way to perform yesterday as far as football goes for the Wisconsin Badgers. That was a tough loss. That was a tough one. Thomas says, funny how Love could win, but Rodgers couldn't. Well, Rodgers always won, pretty much against the Bears. I think he only had 5 losses in his career, but they won running the football and ground control. I mean, if you go and look at the statistics after the ball game, I mean, the Packers only had 15 first downs in this one, right? Chicago had 22. The total yards, the Packers had 329 to the Bears 311. For the most part, though, the Bears led that category for a good 2.5, 3 quarters of the game. The Bears did commit quite a few penalties in this contest. The Packers had 5 punts, averaged almost 50 yards a punt. Bears 4 punts, 53 yards a punt. Time of possession favored the Bears. The field goals favored the Bears. The touchdowns, those favored the Green Bay Packers. 5 of them on the afternoon, and a defensive one. I mean, that's another thing. Now, the Packers ran for 92 yards. The Bears ran for 122 yards, but the Packers passed for 237 yards on the day. Packers penalized 9 times in this contest. A lot down the stretch. They got to clean that up. 9 times. For all the question marks about Darnell Savage Jr., did he answer your question marks? Did he answer the question? Because Darnell Savage Jr. actually had a pretty good game. Led the team in tackles today. Rasul Douglas ended up with 8 of them. And then you've got Devontae Wyatt. Devontae Wyatt, man, he really kind of came of life in the second half of that ball game. Couple of sacks. He was in on 2 of them. 1.5 is what he's credited for. And you've got another one with Lucas Van Ness. That was impressive. For everything that Lucas Van Ness has not done, the one thing he did show was he took off with that speed and showed that good speed and ran down Justin Fields from behind. So nice day by Lucas Van Ness, and what short little playing time he did have in this contest. You've also got Brooks ended up with a sack on the day. So not a bad. And defensively speaking, they started to give it up at the end, kind of in the Joe Barry prevent defense. But they played aggressive, right? They played aggressive. And that was one of the things we were wanting to see. I said there were 3 things at the beginning of the game. 1, David Bakhtiari held up, although that touchdown celebration he had is kind of awful. He held up. 2, I wanted to see the creativity of Matt LaFleur when it came to play calling. And we saw that today, especially in the first drive of the second half, with moving guys around, throwing the ball across the field in the opposite direction, setting up that outside screen to spring Aaron Jones. We saw that today, right? We saw that today. And then we saw an aggressive defense. Early on in this contest, we saw an aggressive defense. And basically after, say, midway through the 3rd quarter, going into the 4th, Joe Barry said, hey, we'll just back off. We're not going to get burned continuously. Let's just keep everything in front of us because the clock is the opponent now. And they did a great job with that. So we want to take your phone calls. We want to open it up. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Get your phone calls. Limited reception here when it comes to all the other things, emails and all that stuff. We'll try to get to everybody. We got the live stream going. If you're watching on YouTube, go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. Bill Michaels Show. Packers still own the Bears. Got a couple of people. This is from Randy. Randy says, what do you think of Matt LaFleur and the play calling in the second half of this ball game? I thought he came out on fire. I don't know if those were scripted, but I would agree with you that he came out on fire. I don't know. And again, I don't know if they were scripted or not, but Matt LaFleur came out, and that was impressive. That was really impressive, the way the Packers were, and Matt LaFleur, the play calling of this team. And I thought that was really solid. I agree. This is from Jake. Jake says, I think that Aaron Jones pulled up with a hamstring injury. Have you heard anything about it? No, we have not yet. But I will say this. Mike Clemens is in the locker room. We're going to hear more from Mike coming up here in just a little while. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. What else do we have here for you? This is Jake says, no. Jake says, there's no way in hell that this team is going to be able to keep this up all season long. They kind of got lucky on this. No, they didn't. They didn't get lucky. They earned a win. They earned a win. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. They earned a win. What else do we have here? This is Mark says, I thought Jordan Love looked impressive. He still doesn't look completely crisp and comfortable, but you got to figure that he's going to get better as time goes on. Absolutely. I mean, first of all, the connection between him and Romeo Doubs you knew was there, and then you saw the 8-yard touchdown pass early on in this ball game. And what I thought Matt LaFleur did was he put him in position to be successful, like the rollouts that he had. He had a couple of those today. He wasn't great on the run, but he was consistent. He didn't have great numbers in the first half either. So the second half numbers really kind of show how he got into a comfort level, how I thought the play calling got a lot better. And then obviously they were able to do the 1-yard run and plunge in for Aaron Jones. And then he comes back with that 35-yard touchdown pass. And I thought that was magnificent. But that's the one with 6:26 remaining in the game, or remaining in the third quarter. That's the one where he ran out of the end zone and up the tunnel. And as he went up the tunnel, he grabbed the back of his leg. And that's a little concerning. So I hope that Aaron Jones is okay. But man, yeah, that's going to be that's going to be something to definitely watch. The other thing, and you're right, Andy. Andy said Love missed some throws deep. That's not there yet. That's not there yet. You're 100% correct. But the deep throws, they're not there. They just are not able to connect mid downfield, whether it's overthrow or underthrown. It's there's not a rhythm, there's not a connection, and that's one of the things where at this point I think, and now granted it's not something the high percentage pass that or the low percentage pass that you're going to work on continuously, but if you want to get that rhythm, it's almost like you just need guys to just continually run sprints down the line. You like a quick in and out and go, up and go, whatever. And Jordan Love just drops back and keeps throwing until he just starts laying it in there, until he gets a feel for it, because it's a touch pass. You know, you do want to put the ball in a particular place. You want to put it, usually outside, so that way the opponent doesn't have the ability to get to it. Or if he's got an inside slant going deep, like an inside and go, then maybe you don't have to worry about that safety or the timing of it or what have you, to be able to get the ball in there before the safety comes over. But you still got to hit your receiver in stride. That there's a feel to that, and they just haven't gotten that. He hasn't gotten that yet. He is not the easy tossing deep thrower that Aaron Rodgers was. It's just that showed. That's very evident. No doubt about it. What else do we have? Not a single home team. You know what? It's a little bit difficult today because I can't see the entire screen, so I apologize. Not a single home team in the. Are you talking about in the division? Yeah, because you didn't have the Lions won on the road. The Bears lost at home. The Vikings lost today at home as well. The Vikings took it on the chin. So, yeah, not a single home team in the division ended up winning a game today. By the way, Mark says, what did Justin Fields, what was his final numbers? 24 of 37, 216 yards, sacked 4 times. Jordan Love was only sacked once, remember. Jordan Love was only sacked once. And Justin Fields ends up 24 of 37, 216 yards, a touchdown, and that pick with a quarterback rating of 78.2. Jordan Love goes 123.2. 123.2 today. That's Third down efficiency also, when you start to really look at being able to move the sticks and keeping things going. Think about this. The Packers today on third down efficiency, 56.3%. 56.3%. The Bears only 23.1. That's getting it done with the Packers defensively. It's not perfect, but man, it was a much, much better defense today than we've seen in a long time, right? Absolutely. Let's do this. We're going to step away. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. If you want to chime in, jump on the line. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Hit us up and give us a shout. We'd love to hear from you. We're breaking it all down. Packers get a win. They knock off the Chicago Bears in fine fashion, and they still own the Bears. Doesn't matter who's under center. They still own the Bears. More of the Green and Gold Postgame Show live down here at the Shy Bar in Chicago coming up right after this. Yeah. Right? Yeah, we'll come back. We'll come back with that. Okay, here we go. Welcome back. We are broadcasting live. The Green Bay Packers get a win, 38-20. We're in Chicago. We're at the Shy Bar here at the Sheraton Hotel in the Riverwalk, and beautiful place. And we can't say thanks enough to everybody here. Thanks to Elmer and Mercedes and Shannon and Cassie, who helped us out today, and Katie too, the food and beverage manager here. And they helped us out and got us on the air, and they had a couple of issues, and we're like, you know what, we'll work around it. They're great to us. We brought some charity winners with us. It was an awesome time, and we can't say thanks enough to them for being a big supporter of the program and working with us on all this stuff. So it's just wonderful to work with, wonderful people, great place. I can't say enough about it. So thanks to the Shy Bar here inside the Sheraton Hotel and the Riverwalk down here. So good stuff. This is from Jake. Yeah, I know we're on the whole time. I get it because we're not necessarily connected directly to the Lions like we normally are. It's just a little different on the live stream today. But over the air, we're fine. Over the air, if you're listening to us on one of your local radio stations or the Zone app, WOZN, the Zone Madison. Download that. You can listen to us right there, right now. Some of the other teams that, were somewhat upset today, I don't think it was an upset out in L.A. when the Chargers got beat 36-34 in a thriller. They got knocked off by the Dolphins. Seattle, though, at home. How about the Rams? 30-13, they knocked off the Seahawks. The Patriots gave the Eagles all that they could handle. They just did. And 25-20, the Patriots on Tom Brady Day. They ended up getting they gave them it all, but they just weren't able to get the win. The Eagles, though, go into Foxborough. And did you see the television screen, that big screen they have in Foxborough now? Holy mackerel. That thing's huge. Huge. That is a massive I mean, I think from what I understand, that beats the Jerry World the Jerry World the big screen TV that they have above the field there. That thing is just enormous. So they ended up getting the win there. The Eagles did, though, over the Patriots. In the meantime, the Raiders, they ended up getting a 1-point victory over the Broncos. Sean Payton, ruined. The start was ruined at Mile High, so they ended up taking the loss. The Bears lose at home, like I had mentioned. The Commanders, 20-16, one of the only home teams to win today. The Commanders won 20-16. The Saints at home, they beat the Titans as well. So the Saints, they knocked the Titans off, and in a 16-15 barn burner, the 49ers just destroyed the Steelers 30-7 a little bit earlier today. Also, 2017, the Buccaneers, as we had mentioned, they knocked off the Minnesota Vikings. The Jaguars go on the road. They get the win, 31-21. The Ravens at home, they get a win easily over the Texans, 25-9. How about the Browns? Putting it all over Cincinnati? Cincinnati loses 24-3. Jackpot Joey, that was the worst he's looked since he's come into the league. Falcons at home, they got a win, 24-10. They knock off the Carolina Panthers. You got the Cowboys and the Giants coming up tonight, and then the Bills are on the road taking on the Jets and Aaron Rodgers, and that's going to take place tomorrow night on Monday Night Football. So that kind of wraps things up all around for you. But yeah, it was a wild day in the NFL, if you ask me. Kind of crazy. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Find us. We'd love to hear from you again, 877-867-1670. And we'll try to get everybody we can on the air, and we'll kind of reset coming up here at the top of the hour. Yeah, Rick, 3 touchdowns. Excuse me, 3 touchdowns, no picks today. Big day for Jordan Love. I can't disagree with that. 100%. 100%. What else do we have here for you? This one is from Jesse. Jesse says, do you think Romeo Doubs is going to become more involved, or is it going to be Christian Watson eventually when he comes back? No Christian Watson today with the Packers, by the way, for those that didn't know. I mean, I'm sure you probably did, but that being said, so you had Doubs got the start. You had, obviously Musgrave was a big target today. I think he had 4 targets, but only 3 catches for 50 yards. You had Aaron Jones out of the backfield, Jaden Reed, 5 targets today, Samari Torrey, 3 targets today, A.J. Dillon a couple a day, Dontavian Wicks. Hell, even Malik Heath had a couple of targets today. So not a bad way to start the day off. Not a bad way to start the year off if you're a Packers fan. A lot of good things happened today for the Green Bay Packers. 877-867-1670. Mark says, what did you think of Daniel Whelan? Well, he had what? The 68-yarder, which was a booming kick. He had one that he pinned down inside their 20. I mean, punting wise, special teams wise, it wasn't bad. Special teams wise wasn't bad. It was a good day. Take that every damn day of the week, right? I didn't have a problem with the special teams at all whatsoever. Um, let's see. Craig says, "Hey guys, what a win by the Green Bay Packers. They still own the Bears. It feels so sweet. Tougher opponent next week. What are your thoughts on Atlanta? Atlanta is a tougher opponent, although they're starting a young quarterback too in Ritter from Atlanta, and that there also is a work in progress. I don't put it this way. I thought if the Packers won this game, they could have a little bit of a letdown and lose next week. But watching the way the defense played, and I'm not saying the defense is going to be great, but watching the way the defense played, and they played more aggressive, you know, I could see the Packers maybe scraping one out. I could see that happening. Could see it happen. Michael says, does this win make you feel any different about Jordan Love? No, not at all. I mean, let me say this. I wanted him to do well. He played better today than we had seen him. He still has a couple of hiccups every now and then, but he was smart with the football, and he had pretty much done that all preseason as well. He didn't put it into harm's way, and that's the big thing. He didn't put the football into harm's way. So for him to be able to go out and do what he did today and not put the ball in harm's way and be able, in addition to that, to still be accurate, to still move a little bit. I thought maybe I have more faith in Matt LaFleur. Would this be a fair discussion? Do you have more faith in Jordan Love, or do you have more faith in Matt LaFleur? Because I thought Matt LaFleur called a brilliant game today. Really, I really do. We're going to hear from Matt LaFleur coming up here in just a little bit as well, so stay tuned. 877-867-1670. Got the top of the hour just around the corner here. Going to get through that, and then when we come back, we're going to hopefully hear from Matt LaFleur. We got a lot of stuff from inside the locker room. Mike Clemens is going to be joining us inside the locker room as well. We are broadcasting live at the Shy Bar. Let me show you where the Shy Bar is. Here you go. Take a look at that. Take a look at that. That's a Shy Bar in Chicago. And that was filled earlier with Bears fans and a few Packers fans that hung out with us for a little while, came over and said hi. But that was filled with Bears fans. And the Bears fans, they left. They walked out. They're like, okay, talk to you later. Good stuff. We got another hour yet to go. Another hour yet to go. Hang in there. Whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show, broadcasting live down here at the Shy Bar. We are in the Sheraton Hotel, the Grand Riverwalk, as the Green Bay Packers got a beat down today on the Chicago Bears. It was awesome. 38-20. They banked them. Banked them right in. Deuce, baby. More coming up right after this. Welcome in. Good to have you. The Green Bay Packers going to win 38-20. 38-20. The Packers knock off the Chicago Bears. Bears licking the wounds, and they are still owned by a Green Bay Packer quarterback until further notice. And I want to tell you something here real quick. So, walking around town last night, Mike Clemens and I, we went to dinner inside the hotel, and there's a lot of Bears fans and Packers fans that were here. A lot of Cubs fans running around town today. And one of the things that we noticed was that there was this different energy, this different optimism that's down here regarding Bears football. So, Thomas, I'll get to you here in just a second. So anyway, the long and short of it is there's a different energy. There's this different thought. There's this different excitement that was here. And last night, we're sitting over at Shula's and we're having dinner, and there's some people near us and a couple of people talking about the Packers and about, finally, that, there's not this hangover of Hall of Fame quarterbacks over their head anymore. And they believe they've got a good team. Eberflus is good. And there was a lot of talk about Justin Fields. Eberflus has got Justin Fields ready. Justin Fields is ready to go. Justin Fields is, boy, he's going to emerge. And then we got up into the press box today, and Mike and I, we're sitting there talking, and saw a few people, and some people we know that cover the team on the regular. And one of the guys started talking to us, and we're over in a corner, kind of hush hush, so to speak, not necessarily whispering, but keeping our voices low. And he said to us, the one thing that nobody wanted to talk about down here was, Justin Fields did not have a good camp. Justin Fields had somewhat of a lackluster camp. And so anyway, long story short was that nobody wanted to cover it. Nobody wanted to talk about it because they were so busy pumping up the Bears and pumping up the fact that the Packers didn't have Aaron Rodgers anymore that nobody wanted to talk about Justin Fields not having a great camp. And it turns out that Justin Fields did not have a great day. He ran the ball pretty well, 9 carries, 59 yards, and had the touchdown and the pick, but he's still got a long way to go for him to be that good. The way everybody expects him to down here. And let's face it, he was pretty much outplayed and outcoached by the Green Bay Packers today. But that was another storyline that was down here. That was kind of hey, nobody wants to talk about it because the whole town's excited for Justin Fields and the Bears, that the fact that Aaron Rodgers isn't here anymore. And they kind of forgot about, kind of getting their own better, so to speak. Let's do this. Let's go to the phone calls. Let's talk to Thomas. Thomas, welcome to the program, the Green and Gold Postgame Show. I'm doing good, man. What's going on? Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Right. So tell me though, like when what made you believe that Jordan Love is legit? Right. Right. No, don't swear. We're still over the air. Yeah. 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 Right. So yeah, no, that's part of the problems we're having down here at the Shy Bar. They had some issues down here, so we get it. You're good. I hear you loud and clear. That's all. That's all that matters. As long as we can hear each other, we're good. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Well, the that was in the first. I was in the first half, and Justin Fields took off running, and it was Jair Alexander hit him just before he was going out of bounds. He was still in bounds. He was still a legal runner, and the Bears took offense to it. And that's all it was. And the Bears got all mad. And it was Lucas Patrick, the former Packer, that got into it. It was Lucas Patrick. Yeah. Right. Right. Yep. Yep. That was it. It was Lucas Patrick who ended up doing that. Yeah. Uh huh. Right. Right. Well, I'm sure now she's probably got a suite at Lambeau, so she should be good for that. Uh huh. Right. Right. Yeah. Don't do that. Right. Next is Atlanta, and then New Orleans. They got Ritter in Atlanta, the new quarterback down there, and then they go. They come back to Lambeau Field, and they got New Orleans after that. So, I mean, appreciate it, Thomas. I got to run here, but I'll say this, and there's a couple of things I want to get to because people are talking about. Okay, first of all, and I do want to go over this. The play on the hit out of bounds on Justin Fields, it wasn't out of bounds. He was still in the field of play. And as athletic as he is, you can't take anything for granted. And I'm going to say this, and I know this is going to pain a lot of Bears fans. You have to understand the rule. The rule is once you take off as a runner, you are a running back, and you are susceptible to the same hits that a running back would take. That's a legal hit on the running back. It's a legal hit on your quarterback. Period. Period. So this whole thing about, oh my God, I can't believe that he hit him out of bounds and such. No, it was a legal hit, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I know Lucas Patrick wanted to come over and show that he was protecting his guy and muscle up and flex up and all that kind of stuff. And Jair has a tendency to talk, and that's fine because there's no penalty against talking if you're not doing anything as far as taunting goes. So the argument from Bears fans to say that this was some illegal hit and he needed to be thrown out or something to that effect, no, not at all, not at all. It was a legal hit. There was no problem. Move on. Nothing to see here. Now I will say this: when you want to come down and defend your guys, but don't do anything stupid. I absolutely hate. I don't know if anybody else um, notices this, but I hate offsetting penalties. I just do. I just hate it. There's got to be some better way to penalize a team for something to be done short of just replaying the down, or especially when you get penalties like that after the play is over, because then you can just get your punches in. Who cares? You get your shoving in, you get your name calling in. Everybody's mom does something, that type of thing, and you yell at them, and then all of a sudden you're back in a huddle, and it's offsetting penalties, and there's no harm, no foul to that. So when Lucas Patrick came rolling into that huddle and started knocking people over, I would have taken a couple of falls and let him take a penalty, get an additional 15 out of it. So anyway, that's one of those things that drives me absolutely bonkers crazy. And I just wanted to make a note of it. Let's do this. We're going to step away. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. The Packers get a win today. They knock off the Bears in fine fashion, I might add. In fine fashion. Packers get a win, and they beat the Bears. They still own the Bears. 38-20 was the final over at Soldier Field. And Jordan Love's debut was a successful one. 3 touchdowns, no picks. Had a pretty good quarterback rating over 120. So not a bad day at the office. Not a bad day at the office for Jordan Love. This portion of the program, as always, brought to you by our friends over there at Quick Trip. Quick Trip, they've been going to get done for a long time. If you're on your way home and say, you're looking for something to eat, they have take-home meals. They're hot, they're fresh, they're cold, they're fresh, depending on what you want, what you're looking for. Maybe your tailgate wasn't a success and maybe you're a Bears fan. You want to drown your sorrows. Head into the beer cave. You can do that. Drown your sorrows in there. Or if you just want to pick up something fresh for tomorrow, like you want to get milk and eggs and bread, bananas, whatever it happens to be, that's our friends at Quick Trip. And that's why we love Quick Trip, because once we get back into the state of Wisconsin, we'll love it even more. That's our friends at Quick Trip. Stay tuned. We got a whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show and the Green Gold Postgame Show. We are live down here at the Shy Bar in the Sheraton Hotel in Chicago. We got more coming up right after this. Yes. Welcome back. Good to have you. Let's get back to the phone calls. We got some. We're going to get the coach. We're going to get Jordan Love coming up here in just a few, so we want to make sure we get those all set up for you. Let's go to our buddy Gerard, listening to us in Delaware. Gerard, how you doing today, man? What's going on? Oh, there you go. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, they were going to check. They were going to check him for a concussion, I think, is what they were going to check him for. The 52, yeah. Yep. Oh, he's got a huge leg. That's the reason they kept him. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. Well, he could have, but the problem on that, Gerard, from where I was sitting, it was like I was directly behind the quarterback in the angle that would have gone to the receiver, and I was watching it open up. And if he had thrown it a split second sooner, the window he put it in would not have had an arm in it from a defender. It was the right place to put it. It was just a little bit too slow. Howie Long. Right. Yeah. Right. Right. Well, the other thing, Gerard, did you see the Jordan or the Aaron Andrews, Aaron Rodgers sit down by any chance? Oh God, yeah. No, it was on today. It was on this morning when I was leaving the hotel. I was just yeah. That's a whole other topic for a whole. I'm going to go off on that tomorrow, but that was a whole other topic for another day. Right. Right. Oh, I know. I completely agree with you. Gerard, appreciate the phone call. I completely agree with you. They all act like they're idiots. Even Mariucci, the guys over on the NFL Network, used to be like this. They were the ones to watch. This credible, statistical driven, opinion driven insight from the locker room, and now it's like this comedy act. It's terrible. It's like, what do they become? And people think this is good. Yeah, oh, it's awful. I completely agree with you. Hey, Jordan Love was at the podium just moments ago. We got a little bit of time here before the bottom of the hour. I want you to take a listen to hear what Jordan Love had to say. Here's what he had to say.
It's one of those things that you can't do anything about it until you got there. Did that today, but he's great. He's in the tunnel after every game. Win, lose, or draw, he's there, dapping everybody up. And, it's awesome to see him after the game.
Just something special. He's going to go pretty quickly. So what happens? I think you're pretty good at that. Is that something you think you should strive for?
Yeah, man, that's football. That's been the name of the game since high school. You win, you lose, you gotta bounce back. You got another game next week, but we'll definitely enjoy this one. It's one thing we celebrate all your wins because it's not easy. So we'll enjoy this one, going back, and then like you said, it's right back to Atlanta for next week, getting ready for them.
Have your phone yet? What's the response been from friends and family?
Yeah, I haven't checked my phone yet, but I'm sure it's probably a lot of love. A lot of friends and family probably reaching out. But I know it's going to be hectic trying to respond to all those texts. So it usually is, though. I have a lot of people that care about me, and it's awesome to get that support.
I've heard of something historic today. 14 black quarterbacks started week 1, most ever in week 1. What does it mean to you to be a part of that?
It's awesome. Growing up, that's I always looked up to my favorite quarterback was Mike Vick. Historic that there haven't been a lot of black quarterbacks, so it's definitely something that's been growing over the years. Obviously, the 14 is a record in the NFL, so it's huge. It's awesome. I think the game's changing, things like that, and there's a lot of guys that are playing the position that, frankly, like growing up it wasn't a lot of black quarterbacks playing. So it's awesome. Jordan's win.
So there's a big time belief in that locker room for Jordan Love. A, can you feel that? And B, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, you definitely can feel it. Just being in the locker room with the guys, they're awesome, man. I was actually given a game ball today. And those guys were going crazy in there. So it's an awesome feeling for me.
So there you go. That's a little bit of Jordan Love at the podium, and he is showing a lot of humbleness, I guess might be the best way to put it. But talking about coming out of the tunnel and the friends and family that were there and the ticket requests and a lot of people around him today, and then saying how much he just appreciated being there and how much he appreciated, being, obviously getting the opportunity to start. So there you go. Let's go to Tyler listening to us in Greenfield. Tyler, how you doing today, man? Welcome to the Green and Gold Postgame Show. Right. That's a good point. I mean, because appreciate the phone call. Okay, there's pressure on both. Matt LaFleur is grateful because of the relationship that obviously he has with Jordan Love, and he's just a coach now. He's not worried about ego. He's not worried about offending feelings or the kind of holding back on things he has to say. He can just coach him. This is a young guy who wants to learn. It's a young guy who's hungry. It's a young guy who wants to play well. It's a young guy who wants his opportunity, and Coach LaFleur sees that. And Jordan Love is appreciative of the coach of the position that he's been in because he knows what was going on. He knows what he had to go through. You know, the whole, and I don't want to go back to it because I don't want to harp on it, but it's legitimately there. It was legitimately there. And that was all the Aaron Rodgers saga. So everybody had to kind of deal with that. And, you know, you could tell today when I'm sitting in the press box and you've got, you know, the kind of the brain trust of the Green Bay Packers sitting right in front of us. And you could tell when that pass to Romeo Doubs, it fell into his arms and they scored. They were legitimately like fist bumping, but it was almost like they were breathing. It was like, oh, okay, maybe this can work, you know? And then Santos kicks a couple of field goals, and then Carlson kicked that big one before half. And, you know, you're thinking to yourself, wow, this could be that kind of a game, you know? And then they went down on that long drive, that 8-play, 75-yard drive, and Aaron Jones plunges it in. They do it with, you know, they do it by picking up some first downs, and Aaron Jones with a big pass play on the misdirection, which was a brilliant call by Matt LaFleur, and Jordan Love executed it perfectly, and Aaron Jones takes off and gets down, you know, inside the 5, and then plunges in from 1 yard out. And then the very next time they get the football back, the defense does a job, and then he gets the 35-yard pass play, and then they're off and running. It just seemed like it was just fun playing football, and they were just breathing, you know? They were just breathing. 877-867-1670. Let's do this. We're going to step away. We're going to take a quick break. I know Matt LaFleur was at the podium. We want to try to get him in. We got Mike Clements coming up here in just a few as well. Stay tuned. We are broadcasting live down at the Shy Bar. And look at this. Look at this. This was all Bears fans a little bit earlier. If you're watching on the live stream, it's all Bears fans a little bit earlier. Nobody. We had a few Packers fans that came by and said hi. Oh, by the way, let's see here. I got to get real quick. Douglas, who from Holman, Wisconsin. Douglas from Holman said he's going to be listening on the Zone app heading home. Douglas, thanks to you and your wife, Jeannie, for stopping in and saying hello. And we shared some of whatever the extra spicy Gardetto things were a little while ago. But thanks for that. Thanks to them for stopping by and saying hi, too. We had a great time. And they came by after the game, and now they're heading back to Holman, Wisconsin. So get home safely, and glad to send you home with a Packers win. That's the best way to go. Stay tuned. We got a whole lot more of the Green Gold Postgame Show. Packers get a win, 38-20 over the Chicago Bears. More coming up right after this. So for those of you that are listening on the live stream, we had an audio issue down here today. And one of the cords that we use to run the audio out of the radio station was accidentally run over when they were vacuuming around our set here. And we only had one of those cords with us, and that's the reason we can't connect the audio up. So hopefully by tomorrow we can get that cord replaced. But that's the reason you can't hear the full audio. And that's also part of the reason that we got bumped via Facebook and we couldn't be on Facebook. There's some issues over there, too, that we're working out. And I know that we've got some things that are back, but it's too late to restart the stream and go back to Facebook. So everything should be back to normal tomorrow. But I think, for right now, we're doing okay. And we're hanging in there. And hopefully you are as well. And for all of you that watch us and pay attention to us on the live stream. We want to say thanks. Thanks to you. I feel like I'm John Belushi in the movie Blues Brothers. And you in the morning, you. So anyway, there you go. And you're right. Fields, by the way, Thomas, not impressive today. Not impressive. Not at all. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it. Gregory, I can't agree with you more. He said this would be one of the shows that Les Grobstein, long time, was 670 the score down here in Chicago. And he would have been on the air a little bit later on tonight, and he's missed, right? He's missed. By the way, for those that are listening that want to hear us on the app, you can always listen to the program and get all the sound. WOZN, the Zone Madison, you can hear it there. And we'll go back on the air here and just coming up here in just a couple minutes. Right, Jason? Orange Whip, love it. Mark, I don't know if I'm going to go as far as to say on the way to another championship, but I hope that's true. But I don't know if I'm going to go as far as to say they're on their way. You know, let's hope. Right now, I've said it before. It's like when Ned Yost first took over for the Milwaukee Brewers, and they were trying to get themselves back to 500, and they were working at it. I just said, you know what? Just for the time being, let's just enjoy the ride before you start putting a ton of expectations on it, right? Okay. We got what? 20. Did they really, Brett? I don't have the game on over here. Once the Bears fans left, I think they left on, I don't know if it's 60 minutes or what the hell it is, but they left that on. There's nobody here. Yeah, Jason, you know what? When you talk about the Vikings, you're right. They did look average, and I thought that offense would look better, and it just didn't. Didn't look any better. Here we go. Welcome back. Welcome back, and good to have you. The Green Bay Packers knock off the Chicago Bears 38-20. They get off on the right foot for this 2023 season. 2023-24 season, the Packers get a win. They go into Soldier Field, and they did what many Bears fans thought they couldn't do, and that's get a win. And, not a – it wasn't like wowing impressive, right? It wasn't like wowing impressive. However, I thought, and this is one of the things that I said at the beginning of the game I wanted to see, I thought Matt LaFleur and Joe Barry put guys in position to make plays. I also thought that the offense was a little more creative. There were some things there. There were some wrinkles there that we had seen in the past, motion, movement, things like that. A little creativity, trying to get the Bears to jump on the fourth down play as well. And for a minute, I even think the guys upstairs that were sitting in front of us thought that the Packers were going for it. So there was some different things there, and it was exciting to see. And by the way, did anybody else notice? Was there one thing to notice that I said I was going to specifically look for? I was going to look for 3rd and short and 4th and short to see how they lined up. Now, they went shotgun, but they didn't go empty backfield. Aaron Jones or A.J. Dillon were always in the backfield, whether it was as a blocker, a receiver, or a runner of the football. And it wasn't just go 5 wide, straight down the field and see what happens. Didn't see that once today. So sometimes it's not what we saw, it's what we didn't see that I found rather impressive, Eric says that second touchdown pass to Romeo Dobbs, that was perfection, shades of Favre and Rodgers. Boy, I hope it stays in that direction. Let's be honest, right? Be great if it stayed that way. The 4-yard touchdown pass from Jordan Love to Romeo Dobbs, and that was in the fourth quarter of this contest. That was a nice play action. Mark says, and don't forget, we have not seen Christian Watson yet, and they're going to get even better. The defense looked pretty good, too. The defense looked more energized, faster. The one thing you noticed was the team speed. They did look faster. I 100% agree. They looked faster, and they looked like they were playing a little more aggressive, weren't playing all zone. They brought it from different areas, and I like the front four. For most of the time, when they were running nickel, I liked the front four and what they were able to do. What else do we have here? Donald says, my stepson is a big Bears fan, was all excited, thought it was going to change, and nah, baby, nah. Did not happen. Didn't happen. So there you go. And you're right, something to be excited about. Some dumb defensive penalties like aggression, but that'll come with time. Ronald says, is Aaron Jones okay in all caps? Don't know yet. We're going to hear. Here's the thing. We'll probably won't know until tomorrow for sure, and then when they start talking about it on Tuesday. But my guess is if it's a hamstring of any significance, he's down for a little while because that didn't look good. I mean, he reached back and grabbed that thing like right now. Right now. David said Quay Walker's return was impressive. They got team speed, man. Yeah, absolutely. They've got some team speed. That was one of the things they wanted to do in the offseason, get younger and get quicker, and that's exactly what they did. They have more team speed. Now, offensively, they looked at times a little bit slower than what the Bears were putting up, and it took the Packers' offensive line a little bit of time to kind of get together and get up to speed. Josh Myers, by the way, if you want to talk about a negative, didn't have a great game. Had a couple of decent blocks and a couple of run blocks that were okay on the inside, but that opener, man, that opening drive, he got put on his ass. He got dumped. So Josh Myers is a guy you want to watch out for because right now he's got the starting job, but boy, a few more games like that, and they're going to be moving guys around. Jesse says, good to see David Bakhtiari make it through the entire game, and he played well. That was the other thing is he played well. David Bakhtiari looked pretty good. So that was a big sigh of relief for a lot of us Packers fans that were kind of looking at it going, I wonder if he's going to be okay with all the sitting out that he's doing. Now, here's the other thing to think about, right? Okay. The other thing to think about is what's it going to be like tomorrow? The knee going to be okay? Is he going to be swelling up, getting fluid off the knee? Is there going to be problems there? Then you'll have to really kind of wait and see. But he did look pretty good. Jason says defensive line was involved in the tackling of the running backs. Yes, something we did not see heavily last year, for sure, because they were getting to second level. Mary says we need Jones. Hope he isn't injured. If the defense keeps it up and the offense stays healthy, makes some big plays, then the Packers can make it to the playoffs, possibly an NFC Championship game. Let's just say get wins. I don't know if I want to start talking about NFC Championship games just yet, but yeah, Aaron Jones is a key cog to that offense. There's no doubt. I mean, you lose Aaron Jones. It's funny in the year in which the running backs are being devalued. Okay, and we've seen this. With the talk out, they cut loose Zeke Elliott. He's making too much money off to New England. He goes. Jonathan Taylor is going through a contract squabble right now with the Indianapolis Colts. You've seen other running backs, Jonathan, like I mentioned, Jonathan Taylor, but they had a couple other running backs that were having issues. Saquon Barkley, he wanted to be paid. And in the year of the devaluation of the running backs, you talk about a running back that is so incredibly valued to making the machine go in Green Bay. That's Aaron Jones. That's Aaron Jones, man. So yeah, the Packers would be significantly slowed if Aaron Jones was not on the field, without a doubt. 100% agree. Let's do this. We're going to try to get Mike Clemens on the horn. Mike is inside the locker room right now, still hanging out down there at Soldier Field. So we're going to talk to Mike coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Stay tuned. We're live. We're at the Shy Bar. And I'm going to show you this again for those that are watching on the live stream. I'm very disappointed. Non-existent Shy Bar. Not happening. Bears fans were packed in here a little earlier. TV's up in the ceiling over there. Now they're watching 60 Minutes. Stay tuned. More of the Green and Gold postgame show next. Hopefully, the people on the live stream can kind of hear it all now. For those of you on the live stream, can you hear it better? Can you hear the show better?
Streets of stone, modern warriors, satellite horses of chrome, taste the wild.
Welcome back. Good to have you. The Green Bay Packers knock off the Chicago Bears 38-20 down at Soldier Field today. Sellout crowd, and it was a beautiful day. It was about 77 degrees and a picture perfect down there today. Picture perfect down there today. Good stuff. Good stuff. And the Packers came away victorious. That's all you wanted. You wanted a clean game. Now, the injuries obviously are of some concern, but you really just wanted a clean game. That's what you were hoping for, and that's what the Packers got today. So good stuff there. We'll talk with Mike Clemens coming up here in just a few. We should be getting Mike on the air with us. I know it's a little bit discombobulated. It was really a kind of a crazy scene after the game inside. Inside the locker room and kind of getting first game of the season stuff. You know what I mean? First game of the season stuff. It was, God. And I'm gonna give you a moment here in which you're gonna go, oh, cry me a river, okay? but I'm just going to kind of tell you about the first day at Soldier Field. Now, you know how I feel about Chicago and Soldier Field. The only time I come to Chicago, I pretty much down here for Christmas and a Packers game. That's pretty much it. Okay. Beyond that, I don't come to Chicago a whole lot. But in Soldier Field, I can't stand. Got in there today. And they had normally, because a lot of us have to work, so we get there really early. So you get there early for the game, and you're there probably 3.5, 4 hours before game time. You're up in the press box, you're doing your work, you're down in the field, you're kind of checking all the things that you need to check. There's people that are doing podcasts and on-field stuff and in the stands, and it's opening day. And so at the end of the day, they ran out of cups. Because we get like soda and stuff. You don't get beer or anything, but you get soda and stuff, you know. They ran out of cups, and they had to go to smaller cups, which are like these little shot glass cups, a little bit bigger than half a shot glass. Or 2.5 shot glasses, we'll say. And then they ran out of food. I mean, it wasn't even like halfway through the pregame stuff, and they ran out of food. They said, I'll be up in 10 minutes. And it was like an hour. And it was just starting to come up. I mean, it was just so, and normally they're all over it, okay? So it was just very discombobulated today. So anyway, the fact that we don't have Mike on the air with us just yet, that's par for the course for a day like this, because it was just so disheveled down there. But ultimately, as goofy as it might have been for you or for me or for the people running the stadium or what have you, it was a goofy day because the Packers came away with a win. Big time. Mike Clemens joining us now on the hotline. Michael, give us a lowdown. What's going on? Because there were some injuries to this game too, man.
There were. So at first I want to apologize because, it's our signature that we always bring actual interviews, audio interviews with players from both teams. We've had some technical problems here at Soldier Field. I know you're shocked at that. I know you're shocked at that.
Yeah, I was just telling the people how they ran out of food.
So anyway, okay, all right. Oh, you're kidding! You're kidding me. Okay, Jesus. Okay, I'm gonna move down here to get away from that clown talking about the Bears. All right, let's try to go back in this corner.
There we go.
All right, can you hear me? Okay.
I got you. We're good.
Okay. Yeah, some guy just mouthing off. You don't have to shout, brother, up here in the press box. Injuries. I just talked to Aaron Jones. Yeah, he tweaked the hamstring on that deep touchdown pass that he had there later in the game. 35-yard catch, Jordan Love, to put the game up 24-6. Really kind of swung the momentum, got things going in the right direction again in the second half. They had him in on his back with a trainer to stretch that out. Yeah, he says he's going to be okay. We'll see what it's like tomorrow. Romeo Doubs came into the game with a hamstring injury, but he felt pretty great. He says he was admitting, though, we'll see how I feel tomorrow. So they got him on the field, and he looked tremendous. I mean, he is Jordan Love's go-to guy right now.
Right.
And he had 5 targets, 4 catches for 26 yards, but the 2 touchdowns. And I thought that when they got great field position, when the Bears tried it for a 4th down in midfield and couldn't convert, the Packers early in the game charged down the field about 50 yards. They had to convert a couple of 3rd downs. A little sloppy at times. But then they set up that touchdown pass to Doubs about 8 yards in the back of the end zone. He was wide open. And I asked 3 or 4 players in the Packers locker room, there's no doubt that this game just got better as it went on for them. They got more loose. They got better timing. They got more rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
And no different than another sport. When you go up by 14, it takes the pressure off, and you can try other things. And and as for the Chicago Bears, I don't know what they've been doing last year, but I don't see where there's really any improvement on that team.
Right. Yeah. It looked a lot, shall I say, similar. It's Justin Fields dropping back. It's Justin Fields tucking and running. It's the offensive line giving up some pressure. It's Justin Fields feeling phantom pressure, and he's a run-first guy. He made a couple of decent, dumb throws, but for the most part, there was nothing there today that was impressive.
I talked to Rasul Douglas, and he said, yeah, the game plan was to contain Justin Fields. Don't let him get the big run. In terms of their running game today, what was it? Johnson had 35 yards. Cole Kmet, for catching, that was. For rushing, Justin Fields once again led this team, the Bears, was rushing with 59 yards and 9 carries. Khalil Herbert had only 27 yards. Johnson had a couple of carries for 20 yards. So the fact is that at the start of the game, and early in the game, like we talked about, they've got DJ Moore as a weapon, and they went to him a couple of times and looked pretty good. But they had to contain him on yards after the catch. But after that, Justin Fields starts running too many times on third down, and it makes them a one-dimensional offense, and the Packers seized on that.
Mm-hmm. Mike, obviously the injuries are going to be a big story coming up tomorrow, but the other aspect of this is Jordan Love looked more comfortable as the game went on, had a couple of big plays, but also the defense looked extremely good too, in my opinion.
I thought so too. I mean, Lucas Van Ness came up with a couple of hurries. Rashawn Gary looked outstanding. He looks 100%, and they put pressure on Justin Fields and a couple of sacks as well. I thought the coverage for the most part was okay, and it got better as the game wore on. And the Packers improved as a team, and the Bears, the Packers roster beat that roster. That, to me, that's the main thing I'm looking at. And secondly, it just seemed like the Packers came up with a better game plan. I'm shocked that Matt Eberflus and that Luke Getz, the offensive coordinator, did not come up with something that they thought they could be more reliable. But, some of these, even Brooks, the rookies, he had a couple of stops in the back. But again, once the offense got two touchdown lead, then that gave Joe Barry a chance to take some shots and hit the Bears back. And then you had a couple of great special teams performances today. The 60-yard field goal or 68-yard punt from Daniel Whelan, and Anders Carlson kicked a long field goal today too. So, what do I take out of this is that the Packers found a way to use the opportunity to improve their timing. That you went from a series where Jordan Love would miss two when he get guys wide open, and then somehow he get the best play of the day, wasn't it? When he bombed his snap. The snap, James picks it up and hits Luke Musgrave wide open down the field. Love said that was sort of what the play was designed. Obviously, not bobbling the ball around, but he had the presence of mind to know where he was, where the play was, where the open guy was, and get that huge gain. So it's a huge confidence builder for the young quarterback to get that under his belt and then head to Atlanta next week.
Got Devontae Wyatt, I thought played pretty well today. You also had Quay Walker, I thought played well today. You saw both of those guys kind of give you a little bit more as kind of what you expected for the second-year guys. You were hoping they were taking that step, and they did. Like you talked about Lucas Van Ness with the speed to be able to track down Justin Fields. The one thing that I noticed today, and this will all begin to come together, but, Goody wanted to get younger and he wanted to get faster, and they got both. That was evident today.
Yeah, they did. And on defense, by the way, did you notice it was number 7, Quay Walker, read the green button on his helmet. It's Quay Walker right now, who's the defensive captain calling the plays. Devondre Campbell, who missed the last 5-6 weeks with an ankle, he was the number 2 the number 2 linebacker out there because Walker, got all the snaps. So injury-wise, Aaron Jones, will he be ready for next week? I don't know. He seemed to be okay. Romeo Doubs, I would think he would be able to play. In terms of Jamin Reed, number 11, he got roughed up on the sideline, and then he had a leg injury. They had to carry him off, but I saw him trotting from the top into the visitors' locker room too. So it wasn't like it looked bad. It looked pretty good against the GM in the tunnel, hugging and congratulating every single Bay Packer when they came off that field today, including Jordan Love and a couple of players as they went into that locker room saying, "We own this city. We own this city."
Mike, which, what's funny is you mentioned that because I had talked about, where I sat and the guys were all sitting right in front of me. And it was like that first connection, that 8-yard pass to Romeo Doubs for the touchdown. It was not only the fist bumps going all around, but it was the breathing. It was like like they could just breathe. Like, okay, I think this can work. It was really a lot of sighs of relief today.
I think that front office, it was not only confirmation, vindication that they made the right move.
Yeah, well, they got to do it again next week against Ritter, a young Ritter quarterback down there in Atlanta, and then they finally get a chance to come back home against New Orleans. We got about 30 seconds. Any parting shot here before we leave?
No, I just was impressed by that motion today by Brian Gutekunst to be there to greet that team.
Yeah.
And the survey of players that I talked to, from Bakhtiari to Aaron Jones to Rasul Douglas too, and I'll have all those interviews for you tomorrow after 1 o'clock on the Bill Michaels show, is that they got better with each series in this game.
Yeah.
And they're all excited by that.
Mike, good stuff, buddy. Get home safe. I will see you shortly, and then we'll be reconvening all day tomorrow, okay?
Thank you, Bill.
All right, buddy. There you go. That's Mike Clemens inside the locker room over there at over at Soldier Field. Lambeau Field's got great dining facilities. Soldier Field does not. Packers, they're smiling today, though. It'll be a joyous ride, short plane ride back to Green Bay one more time before a crowd of 62,456 at Soldier Field. It was the Green Bay Packers 38, the Chicago Bears 20. Next week, they're in Atlanta. And we'll be back at it again, and we're going to talk about it all tomorrow on the Bill Michaels Show, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. live Central Time. You can catch it on The Zone. You can catch it on YouTube. We'll be back on Facebook, and you can also listen to it on many of your local affiliates. Until then, time for us to go. Have a